Hello and welcome to Ukraine Today. I'm joined today by Mr. Ganushak, an expert on decentralization. Welcome to Ukraine Today. So to talk a little bit about what exactly that you do.
So I was a member of the group, expert group, to make the amendment to a constitution deals with decentralization. So the most important is in constitution to divide the competence of state and local government. We will have, after the reform of the administrative territorial amalgamation of the villages, of the councils, we will have only 1,200.
Does this number, 1,200, does this include the now occupied regions in the east?
It will be near 1,200. Just now, this reform is prepared, and I think it during 2 years it will be finished.
Do you think having more officials, and do you think this will help Ukraine rid itself of mass corruption?
Not only because the number of entities will be reduced 10 times, but also because it will be established the system of feedback. So just now, state administration at the same time represent the state and the local government, because it's the executive body of local government. After these competences will be devised, so it will be executive body to the oblast and rayon.
I know that your committee that has been working on decentralization has received a lot of criticism for potentially giving a special status to the Donbas. Do you think that what do you think about this?
This is the best victory, diplomatic victory of our president. Why? Because just now, who is responsible for the constitutional amendment from the entire world? United States, France, Europe, entirely Europe. Why? They insist to see some point about eastern regions of Ukraine in the constitution. Those amendments exist, but only in the transitional clauses. Transitional, so temporary. It means that nobody can push the state government or president from this territory, because this is a local government. And competences of local government not the same as the competence of state. The another, why it must be the specificity of these regions? Because the local government in this region is very, very weak. So there are no traditional of local government as well, of local democracy as well, to have entire rights of local government in this territory. What does it mean? It means that the powerful of prefect will be more stronger than in the another region of Ukraine.
Do you think that people there will be upset by the lack of trust the government will be showing in them?
I think that people will be not upset, but will like, because the mentality of Donbas, they like strong force, like. So you understand that this territory not the same by mentality that another. So the figure of the manager in this territory must be very, very strong.
But doesn't every part of Ukraine want a strong local leader?
No, for example, you see some of parts of Ukraine has very good history about Magdeburg Right. The cities had a lot of. For example, this territory where the Poland at the epoch or Hungary, Austrian-Hungary, they have very good self-government at that time. The cities, the same self-government than in Western Europe. But in this territory, they don't have this history of self-government as well.
Okay, after the Donbas region is restored under the Ukrainian government.
Yes.
Is there going to be a referendum whether the region receives more autonomy?
To have the right to have more autonomy, you must have something else than another territory of Ukraine. Mm-hmm. What is another? What is? For example, for Crimea, it's possible. Why? Because this is a territory where Crimean Tatars, this is the people that lived before, and this is their land. It was independent country during several centuries. So national autonomy for this territory, it's possible and it's reasonable. And President said about this, which is something in those territory of Donbas that is something else than in another part of Ukraine. Language? No, because Ukrainian and Russian language is in all parts of Ukraine.
So what is the majority of people of Donbas? Which language do they speak?
Just now Russian. But you must know that this is not rural territory. In rural territories, the majority speak Ukrainian.
Do you think that in order to fight some of these stereotypes about how the people in Donbas have less rights because they're Russian speakers? These are just some of the kind of propaganda things that have been put out there by Russia. Do you think in order to fight that Ukraine should be bilingual and have an official second language, which would be Russian?
No, because you see, the language is so that is the feeling of the people. Is something that is the code of people. And I can say you that if 300, not 300, but 100 years ago, 90% of the population of Ukraine spoke Ukrainian, why? It will be not in future. Why? By nationality, so by aim, they are Ukrainian. The another one, we don't want to have the problem as well as exist in Belgium or in Canada, etc., etc. So the question and this mode of thinking about bilingual, that it must be deposed in constitution, this is also those that is by Russian propaganda.
So why do you think it's a threat to Ukraine to have two national languages?
This question that is posed by our enemy to make our country weak. That's all.
Thank you for joining me, Mr. Ganushak. This has been Mr. Ganushak, an expert on decentralization in Ukraine. You've been watching Ukraine Today, and now back to the news.